Well, welcome viewers. Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia, asking the question, is monogamy the way to go? I believe it is, but today it seems people are swapping and changing and all this sort of stuff. Abraham and Pharaoh. The first episode appears in Genesis 12:10 through 20, where Abram later called Abraham moves to ancient Egypt in order to evade famine, because his wife and half-sister Sarai, now Sarai was his half-sister, later called Sarah, is very beautiful, and Abraham asks her to say that she is only his sister, lest the Egyptians kill him so that they can take her. So Abraham, was that brave that he just said, tell them you're my sister and they can have you as long as I live? Well, on arriving before the Pharaoh, the Egyptians recognized Sarah's beauty, and the Egyptian princes shower Abraham with gifts of livestock and servants to gain her hand in marriage. Sarai thus becomes part of the Pharaoh's house, so they would have had sex with her. But Yahweh sends a plague, which was an infection an invasion of tissues by pathogens and their multiplication, and the reaction of hot tissues to the infectious agent and the toxins they produce. An infectious disease also known as transmissible disease or communicable disease. But Pharaoh restores Sarai to Abraham and orders them to leave Egypt with all the possessions Abraham had acquired in Egypt. So Abraham had a plan to escape the famine by surrendering his wife to other men, which he did, but it didn't pay off because he was sent away by the Pharaoh. Let's have a look at some other information regarding polygamy.
Is monogamy natural? It's a question I get all the time. It's actually a question.
Just a correction, not polygamy, monogamy. Monogamy. I'm a monogamy.
Is monogamy natural? It's a question I get all the time. It's actually a question I mostly get from men. Turns out, monogamy may not be biologically natural, but cultures play a very big role in shaping human behavior. A research paper out of UCLA says that 85% of human cultures around the world have always permitted men to have more than one wife. But recently, monogamy has been spreading across Europe, Western culture, and indeed the entire globe. Turns out that monogamy, couplehood, is a great organizing structure for societies, and it's good for the entire species. In any society, there's nothing worse than having a group of marauding young males who can't find a girlfriend. Normative monogamy reduces crime rates, including murder, robbery, and rape. And here's my favorite part. By reducing the competition for women, it shifts male energy towards paternal investment. Monogamy creates better dads. And who are the enforcers of monogamy? Women. Do your jobs, ladies. Enforce the rules.
So who are the enforcers of monogamy? Women. Goodness me, that's a big responsibility, isn't it? Tell me what you think in the comments. Are women the protectors of monogamy? Let me know in the comments. Viewers, let me ask you, is there such thing as a serial monogamist? Well, apparently there is.
Like, I'm a serial monogamist. Do you know what I mean? So, and 18 was a long time ago. So I can tell you that I've
How long
been,
ago is 18?
So 23 years now? Yeah, 23 years? 41?
Yeah.
23 years.
Yeah.
I've been my name is Jess, and for 23 years I've been in a relationship with
Serious
relationship with honestly about a week in between. I'm not even joking. And I can't even tell you how it's happened. I don't even know how it's happened.
Interesting.
But I'm a serial monogamist.
Well, let me know. Do you believe in monogamy?
Do you believe in monogamy?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Is it polyamory? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, polyamorous
Yes,
relationship.
yeah.
And I think that is bollocks. Genuinely. I think it's a very rare thing these days, monogamy. I genuinely, I do. I think a lot of people are so open. Because I believe in soulmates, I do believe there is My
I feel like
personal-
it's different doing it like a one-off or whatever if it's like one night stand sort of thing compared to actually being in a
I couldn't
relationship.
love two people at the same time.
No.
If I was in a relationship, I wouldn't want to see the person I love with someone else.
That's what I was about to say. I
someone
know I
else.
would get too jealous.
A lot of people see sex very differently. Sex can just be a great time. However, if I'm in love with someone, then sex is very different.
Well, feelings are involved when you're
Yeah,
in love with someone.
exactly.
The sex
And
to
then
you
that's-
is different.
Do you
So do you believe in monogamy, viewers? Comment. Leave your comment in the comment section. That's what it's there for. I'd like to know. And viewers, just from an open perspective, because we know that the Christian idealism is to be monogamous, and I agree with it. But is monogamy realistic, viewers? Could you leave your comment in the comment section, please?
I think monogamy is super realistic. But I think in order for it to be as successful as possible, we need to take the idea of compulsory monogamy off the table. A lot of people want to be in relationships, and we've kind of normalized this idea that relationship equals monogamy. So what you have is a bunch of people entering into monogamous relationships by default that they actually don't really want to be in and don't really respect, which is why we have so many cases where it seems like it's unsuccessful. By comparison, if we took compulsory monogamy off the table and allowed people to just have conversations with other people about what they're looking for and what they want, I think you would find that the only people entering monogamous relationships are people who actually wanted to be in them, ultimately making them more successful. I myself was only in open relationships for years, and when I met my current boyfriend, I told him that on our first date, like, I don't do monogamy, so if that's what you're looking for, not me. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. But after a few months of dating, things changed, and he said, you know, I really like you, and I think if we were gonna move forward, I would need monogamy, which I know is not something you do, so I got a dip. But the idea of him not expecting that of me allowed me to really consider what I wanted. I was able to consent to a monogamous relationship with him, and really consent to. And now we're 5
So she said there at the end that they're 5 years in and going strong. So is monogamy realistic? I believe it is. Viewers, this fellow's talking about monogamy being necessary. I agree.
If your idea of civilization necessitates treating people like breeding cattle and deciding who they get to sleep with, when they get to sleep with them, who they procreate with, blah, 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 then your society should collapse. I don't like your society. I am against your society. You know, I don't think that's the society we live in. But let's not be friends. If your idea.
And we'll close with this one. Married men, it's never okay to fixate on other women. And I agree.
Married men, it is never okay to check out another woman, whether you're in the strip club or in line at a restaurant or a bar. Look, I get it. It's hard to take your eye off of somebody of the opposite sex that's attractive. It's there, you can't ignore it. But there's a big difference in noticing that it's there and fixating on the fact that it is.
So Abraham, the father of faith, told Sarah's wife that she was to say that she was only his sister. And then he gave it other men. And he's the father of our faith. I don't think that's a good example to follow, but it's in the Bible. Leave your comments. I'd like to know what you think about that, viewers. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye.